Howdy partners, it's so good to be here again, as always. I think this is the first 2025 film that I'm reviewing. It has been a relatively slow start for cinema in 2025, but things are heating up. Next week we got Mickey 17. But as you may have noticed, I have been catching up with those final 2024 film releases that have been slowly drip feeding us here in Montreal. Yes, the year-end list is coming. I'm later than everyone else in the world, but I'm totally okay with that because I like taking my times with these lists. And I also like to keep busy both in my professional and personal life, which doesn't include this YouTube channel, FYI. So bear with me, it is coming eventually. It will be worth the wait. But nonetheless, I was very curious to check out this film, Last Breath, which is based on a true story. And in fact, it is an adaptation of a 2019 documentary of the same name. And the director of this film, Alex Parkinson, was also the co-director on that project. So it is clearly something that is near and dear to his heart. And I totally get it. This is a story to become very emotionally invested in. So as I mentioned, this is based on true events. This film chronicles the journey of these deep sea divers that are fixing gas pipelines deep below, a place where very few humans ever go to, and perhaps shouldn't go to. And as you might have predicted, there is an accident that happens that leaves one of the divers stranded, lost at sea, totally detached from the boat, and cut off from oxygen, which is the crux of the issue over here. So the clock is constantly ticking for the rescue operation to get this guy back before it is too late. It is a crazy story that I'm glad was put to film, either in its documentary or in this re-dramatized version of it. It is a rather short 93-minute film, but let me tell you, I was on the edge of my seat during this short duration. Whenever I'd see the countdown of 7 minutes and 39 seconds and counting decreasingly, I was squirming a seat thinking like, fuck, see? And later in the film where the timer would update to not just how much time left of oxygen there is, but how much time has passed without oxygen. Every time that number would go up in update, I'd just be like, fuck, tabarnak, this is so bad. It is a genuinely crushing reality when you think about it. Now, I will say that the film is rather light on acting highlights, even with someone like Woody Harrelson in this film, even though one could properly consider him to be part of this trio of main characters in this film. He doesn't have all too much room to breathe. No pun intended. The short runtime is shared with a bunch of characters, either deep in the water or up above on the ship that is driving this operation. We also have Simu Liu, who quite literally gets to flex his Marvel muscles in this film. I'm sure a lot of fans will get a kick out of that. But he is a little bit mean and does rub me and pretty much everyone else on this operation kind of the wrong way for a while. The captain or coordinator of the operation even referred to him as a bundle of joy. The irony has not gone unnoticed. So yes, there are choice few opportunities for there to be meaningful character development and drama in this film, but I do think that the focus of this film is centered more around the mood, which I do think they nail for the most part. That sense of worry and purpose of conducting this rescue operation ASAP to leave no man behind is something that is keenly felt. Like I said, I was on the edge of my seat for the duration of this film. But I guess I do feel it's a little over dramatized and makes it feel a little artificial at times. Of course, Chris is this lover boy archetype who gets a little bit of a downer mood from Simu Liu's character, and you can tell in mine like, oh, okay, this is the sweet guy that's gonna get in trouble and lost at sea. I haven't watched the documentary, but I do wonder how accurate that is in real life. It does feel a little too scripted, perhaps. However, I do really appreciate the immersion into this world that they recreated over here. Either on all the tech on display here that shows how the operation was proceeded. We don't go too much in depth on that, even for me who knows nothing about this. I got pretty much everything I needed to know on the macro level of what it is to perform one of the most dangerous jobs on earth over here. And this is something that leaving the cinema brings a bit of healthy perspective into my life. I'm sure we all have our difficulties in each of our jobs or whatever it is we do in life. But I think our issues pale in comparison to the kind of daunting reality that these guys have to deal with. Oh my god. So that is something I walk away with from this film, feeling a bit more lighthearted about everything that's going on in my life. But when it comes to the underwater sequences, they're quite riveting. The vastness of that dark abyss is a sight to behold, and the raging waves up above that are crashing into the ship are absolutely thunderous and genuinely concerning, seeing that boat is all that is tethering our deep sea workers in the middle of this raging storm. Truly, the power of Mother Nature never ceases to amaze me, either in its beauty or in its terror. And this film is yet another prime example of that. So perhaps this isn't the film that reinvents the wheel of what we've come to expect in this kind of genre of film, but it is an inspiring story and I think it's very competently told. I don't think I'd go above a 7 out of 10, but it is a solid experience and I am grateful to have seen it. But the thing that is the most inspiring for me from this film is how incredible it is to consider that the scientists even today are absolutely baffled at how Chris Lemons survived this ordeal. There is a moment in the conclusion of the film where Chris is asking, how long was I away from you guys? And upon learning that information, he realizes like, oh wow, I should be dead. By all rational facts, he really should be. Maybe this is going a bit too much into spoiler detail, but I guess it is a true story, so I don't feel too guilty about that. But I do think it is worth highlighting because I do have a theory about how it is he survived. And perhaps this is a force of nature that science is not currently capable of accounting for. But I think the reason he survived is because of love. This man is engaged to a truly lovely young woman, and the last thoughts he had as he was running out of oxygen was that he promised to her he would come back. They're going to get married and they have something really truly beautiful together, and neither of them want to lose that. He even said at one moment in the conclusion of the film that there was this ease, this bliss of just drifting off into sleep. I can almost imagine the slowing of the breath, the acceptance of the situation, and the sensation of just letting go, completely surrendering to the flow of life, awash in this warm, cozy blanket of this beautiful romance that is real and that is his anchor clinging him to life. Maybe this is just my romantic soul speaking. Possible. But my interpretation out of these events is that this is a gigantic W for us romantics. So with all that being said, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Take care and talk to you soon.